All right, Nico. So I am loving using the Cosmic Tower and I feel great things from it. And there's just some things to wrap my mind around that are so far out there. So I've heard this concept that a cosmic tower, which is essentially made from wood and glass and crystals and water, very highly charged, very special water, has a soul.
Mhm.
And I don't understand that. Like, I'm curious. I want to understand it. So I know you're confident in the understanding of that. So help me. How do we understand this device to have a soul?
Absolutely. And Patrick, let's first go into it. Why is there even a soul needed with such a device? And the reason for that is because this device taps into what would be called the 0 point, which is, call it source, call it an unlimited source of energy. What happens when you tap into that? You have to regulate the throughput of energy, right? This is the same with a free energy generator. If you would make that connection to the 0 point, it would accelerate until it blows up. So there's always, whenever you tap into the 0 point, when you go into free energy in the toroidal field, there is an intelligence needed to regulate the energy. And that is the soul. Now, when we speak of soul, many of us think of like a human being. No, we're basically speaking of an intelligence of a particular level that is regulating a process. So then the question is, how is it possible with a cosmic tower that's made out of maple wood, glass containers, and then plasma state water in a crystal? Like, how do you put a soul in such a thing? Now, the crystal in the center is where the access point is to the 0 point. And the reason there's a crystal there is because within a crystal, you can house a soul. And a great example of that is the Mayan elders have this concept of crystal skulls, and they're sentient, right? Millions of people all over the world have connected and interfaced with the souls within this crystal, right? So that is one aspect of it. So the crystal allows for the soul to be attached to the device. Now, the other thing, and this is more my take on this, what allows your soul to be connected to your body, Patrick?
Well, I mean, that brings up the realm that this whole area for me, I've learned through a culture and people who have ways of living that don't address that stuff with any kind of authority, depth, or understanding. So I mean, I'm kind of clueless in the whole topic, so I don't have an answer for your question, but I appreciate the playfulness of it.
Well, I think the answer is much closer and much deeper to your core than you realize. I believe water is what allows the soul to be in the body. But I mean, think about it, Patrick. You know more than water than the great majority of the people out there. When we're talking about fourth phase, aka plasma, right, structured water, we're talking about a crystalline structure. This crystalline structure can hold the soul. This crystalline structure can hold the charge, the electricity, the life force, right? So that's another aspect of this, to understand that the crystal I compare to the heart, whereas where our soul is housed, at least in the traditions that I've studied and from my own knowing. And then our body is more crystal because it's all structured water. So that allows the soul to actually, animate, to regulate. Now think as the cosmic tower, the crystal being the heart in the center, and then the structured water, the plasma being the body of it.
It's fascinating. Well, what I can say for sure is like my experience of being around the cosmic tower and focusing on the cosmic tower has me know definitively with my senses that I'm in different energy fields than I'm used to. And that when I do things like my emotional processes, they go deeper and they clear more, and it's a different experience. So I know I'm in a different energy, but like just softening up my mind to allow myself to understand what that is. I mean, that's what this inquiry is about, and you're helping. So thank you.
Yeah, and you can experience this right now because you have the cosmic tower right there. All it takes is dropping into your heart, connecting, and say, like, dial the energy up, dial it down, and have your experience. For me, it's always about having your own experience, right? That's where knowledge or concept becomes wisdom, because now it's not just something that you believe, it's something you've experienced, right?
Oh, it's funny that you say that, because as we were talking, I was very much aware that I had the cosmic tower here, and very much aware that I'm in a feeling state that's being influenced by it. And there's probably people who are energy sensitive who can feel that through this video when they're watching it here, which is great. So I appreciate that we were able to address this topic, and thank you for bringing some light to it for me.
Thank you, Patrick.